Now, Your
Uh-huh.
Honor, I didn't overtalk you. I let you make the
Oh,
record.
you let her? Whose courtroom do you think you are in? Yours? Like if you homeless, basically everywhere you go is your home. But this does not apply, Daryl. Hey y'all, it's your girl J9 Eve, per usual. They're getting ready right now for closing arguments. And of course, Daryl is jealous for no reason at all because the defense is asking, can they use the props? Attorney Opper, Sue Opper is wanting to put up the same board and stuff that she did, during the trial, whatever. She wants to use that, during her closing arguments. Of course, she asked the judge, is the judge okay with that? Of course, the judge says, yeah, as long as it's not blocking, Darrell's view or, and it's part of something that's already been, the jury's already seen it, basically. So then Darrell's, of course, like, well, can I present stuff too? It's like, yes, Darrell, you see what they just did? See how they just asked what the thing was they wanted to bring in? That you do that, but you just saw it's like learning on the job. Like you just saw what they did? Yeah. So yeah, clearly you can because you just saw them do it. So you just ask, what's the thing you want to bring in? And then you ask her, can I present this? If it's something that the jury's already seen, then yes. Why wouldn't it? Right? But you want to bring in some brand new thing and just show it to the jury? Clearly not, Daryl. We don't want to see your picks, okay? So Daryl has a tantrum, of course, per usual. And then it just turns into this whole show because Daryl's stalling because he knows these 1,000 years is coming and ain't nothing he can do to stop it. It's like the train. He sees it. He sees the train, but can't nobody stop it. And wouldn't nobody do it if nobody would want to stop it. They just want to watch it. Just run over you, Daryl. Very reminiscent of that day, but you instead, you. So we're just gonna watch this and laugh our asses off, of course, per usual. And let's just hop right on in. Let's just do it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to it but to do it. So what you got to say, Daryl, for yourself? What's going on? What do you need from us? What do you need, Daryl?
All right, it's 2 o'clock. I'll call the case. State of Wisconsin versus Darrell Brooks, case number 21 CF 1848. May I have the appearances, please?
Good afternoon, Judge Sue Opper, Leslie Daisy, and Zach Wichow, appearing for the state.
I'm here without prejudice by special appearance. Beneficiary, I'm here under fraud, menace, duress, and extortion. Judiciary, Jennifer R. Girl. This is a social security cestQ trust action which you are a real party and interest to as sui juris and propria persona. This is a military admiralty tribunal and maritime law. Title 4 of the United States Code Section 1, which you can see, which states placing of fringe on a national flag is within discretion of president acting as commander-in-chief of the Army and Navy. Is this a common law court or an admiralty court?
The records reflect that the individual known to this court as Darrell Brooks is present in person in custody. He is wearing a dress shirt. I know he has a suit coat, but it's not on. He's also wearing a mask. The court is not going to address any of the issues that he is raising as they are meritless. I would also say the same as to the notes that he passed while he was in the other courtroom. For the record, I did provide a copy of all of those to the state as well. They are also uploaded into the file and are made part of the record. To the extent that he raises objections or lack of consent, it is noted for the record.
I was about to do that and say that I don't consent to being called that name or identity. That is the trust name, and it is not me myself. I don't recognize that name, nor do I consent to being called by that name. With all respect, Your Honor.
What's with the slow blink,
Still have
Daryl?
yet to address subject matter jurisdiction, what has yet to be proven on the record.
What is with Daryl's slow blink today? What is that? What are we doing? What's happening?
May I receive those original copies time-stamped?
Okay. All right, I need to make a record of one part of a jury instruction that I do need to advise the jury. It will also be corrected in the packet. I believe within the last year, the jury instruction on credibility of witnesses was modified. Make sure it's.
I accept for value in return for value this document, and Your Honor, I requested that I have copies of my filings from earlier, time-stamped.
And that's why I set a time limit of 1 hour for the parties. And
Look at Daryl.
Mr. Brooks, I will advise you that I certainly
There we go,
will
the
wait
eye
and
rolling.
see how you present your argument today. I will certainly wait.
He's rolling his eyes because she called him Daryl. hey, Mr. Brooks. But you won't tell her what to call you. If she says sir, she could be talking to anybody in the courtroom. So how are you going to know if she's talking to you if you don't give her a name to call you and she's not supposed to call you Mr. Brooks? But whatever, Daryl.
Wait to see if there are
Look
any.
at this. You about to get 1,000
objections
years,
raised.
Daryl.
But I also want you to be aware that if I feel the arguments are improper, I may simply, without an objection, say, please move on, as a clear indication from this court that what you are stating is not proper under the various rules and case law that govern closing arguments.
Yes.
Again, Your Honor, without prejudice, I'm here by special appearance. I don't consent to being called that name for the record.
It's not.
It's almost. I have to have said this before. I don't recall, but there's no way I haven't said this before. Does Daryl think that when this is over, that if he keeps saying that he's not Daryl, that he'll be like this imaginary person will be hauled off to the jail and he'll get to grab his little pretend briefcase, which actually is a box, and just stroll on out of here because he indeed is not this person that they just gave 1,000 years to? It almost seems like he's just hoping by some chance that, like at the end of this, they'll say, okay, we're now supposed to take away Darrell Brooks. Raise your hand if you're Darrell Brooks. And all he has to do is not raise his hand and he don't got to go to jail. He got to go to prison. That's kind of what it seems like. And with Darrell, probably is.
Noted, sir. All right, then with that, I will have the go ahead. Looks like Attorney Opper has some issues she wants to raise.
Yes, I just have one question, Your Honor. Would I have permission to put the easel up and display some of the poster boards? I did confer with Captain Dussault as far as security is concerned, and he agreed to it if the court would give me that authority.
Where would it be displayed?
He's going to put it like right here, and then you want me standing at this table during
I do.
Yes, so I would just position it like right here. And I don't have to leave it up through the whole thing. I realize it blocks the view of people in the courtroom. Detective Casey would be willing to assist me in removing them when I'm done with them, if that's okay with you.
I trust it won't block Mr. Brooks' view of the jury, and
That's
as long as
I was going to put it like right about here so that he could still see me and the jury.
with that caveat, yes, I will allow that.
All right.
Objection, what is that? What is supposed to be put up?
Look at him. He's like, I want to object to something. What is it? I would like to say no to it.
Previously admitted, Your Honor, it's Exhibit 15 and 130, I believe.
So are they exhibits? I'm confused to what they are.
Mr. Brooks, I made a ruling. The state has made a request. I've granted it.
Yeah, but
In
I'm
terms
saying
of-
I don't understand what's being shown.
You don't need to. It's not your closing argument. You need to be concerned about your closing argument. Are you planning to just show up and cry? Of course. Yes, we already know this. We've covered it already. His plan is to just show up and cry. His exhibits are his pretend tears that they never showed up, like his mother. They never showed up in the courtroom, just like his mama or his grandmama or anybody else. He had to subpoena his ex-girlfriend. Like, he had to force her in by law.
Did not have the right to ask, to object and ask what it is that's actually going to be shown.
The state's put on the record what it is. They are exhibits that have previously been received by the court during the course of this
ready for her
trial.
closing argument.
That is
She said,
proper
"I'm
for
ready."
a party to do that during its closing arguments.
So can I put up exhibits?
Yeah, tell me what they are, just
Ms.
like
Brooks,
they
I
did.
don't know what you have planned for your closing argument.
I'm making a request, the same request. May I be able to put up
Well, I
exhibits?
guess it depends on what it is, sir. So I'm not going to take up any more time because what I intend to do is once the state goes through its closing, I may take just a short comfort break depending on how long it is. And if there's something in particular, what are you will need to tell me what it is. As long as it's an exhibit from this case, then I wouldn't have an issue with it.
They would be from this case, obviously.
Oh, obviously. Is
It's
it
not
obvious,
nothing that the state
Daryl?
has.
He's so
I'm
funny.
not aware of exhibits that the state wouldn't have that you would have.
Exactly.
Everything
Yeah.
that
If it's something that the state don't have, clearly it was not an exhibit in the trial. Because if it was an exhibit, they would have it. Look at him. He like, look, I just want to bring in some stuff. I just want to show the jury some of my drawings that I've done. I've turned into an artist since I've been in lockup. I want to see what they think about my art. I'm an artist now. The artist formerly known as Darrell Brooks. Okay.
that's been received, we have a list. So
Will
if
you
it's
list?
not something that was received during this trial
Then no.
as an exhibit by the court, unless you tell me what it is so that I can make a ruling, I can't see how it would be relevant or appropriate for your closing argument.
They're part of my filings that you filed.
Filings have no relevance
I
to
know
the
that's
issues
right.
that are before the jury. The closing arguments are to direct the jury so that they have your arguments so that when they go back to determine the issues in this case, which are related to whether you're guilty or not guilty of the
Guilty.
76 charges.
All 76.
Things like subject matter jurisdiction or
Maritime
would
law.
not be something that would be proper before this jury. Those are legal.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but maritime law is like the law of the sea. Like, does he think that he's on a cruise ship? I mean, why does he think he's in the water? Like, why does he think that he's on a naval ship? Like, for some reason, he thinks he's on a ship. He thinks he's out in the middle of the ocean, like outside of American waters also. Like, he thinks that he's like, that's what maritime law is. I know that from Arrested Development. I remember when Michael was like, oh, I know maritime law. Like, he accidentally went to law school and just did maritime law, which was like, I guess it was supposed to be funny because it's like pointless. At what point are you going to use this?
Legal issues
This show
that
was
the court
hilarious.
would decide. The jury is the judge of the facts. The court is the judge of the law. That's why I have all of these jury instructions to give to the jury.
I'm not referring to subject matter jurisdiction.
Oh, what are
you
you? Oh, you
to
ain't?
then? Be very specific so
Liar.
I can make a finding and ruling.
I was specific.
Oh, were you
other
specific?
Filings.
That's not specific
Look.
enough, sir. What are you
My
referring
court
to?
docket
Which
sheet.
filing?
Let me know when you're done, Your Honor.
Which
No,
filing, sir?
no.
Not generally, but specifically.
Are you done?
I just got finished talking about this. This is how you speak to a narcissist. It drives them crazy. He must have learned, like he picked this up. Somebody did this to him. He knows how much he did not like it. So he's using it on the judge. Are you done? I just got finished talking about this. When you use this on narcissists, they fucking hate it, man. You let them just ramble and ramble and ramble. And you just look at them, and then while they do it, and as soon as they stop, you just say, are you done? Oh.
Are you done?
Sir, that's very rude.
Am I
I'm
done?
just-
No,
I didn't know
I
if you was finna say something.
I-
That's why
she
I'm
should have replied. I'm gonna tell you how she should have replied. No, but I will be once you underneath this here prison for 1,000 years. I'll be done once they find you guilty and I read this 1,000 years to you. Then I'll be done. And then I'm gonna go and have me a sandwich. I'm thinking like maybe a freedom sandwich. I don't know. Maybe a cold cut. But probably a freedom sandwich. I usually like to go with the freedom sandwich. I know you're like, what does that taste like? And you'll never find out. You'll never find out, Darrell.
asking, are you done?
What
Your
filing
Honor,
are
how
you
come
referring
every
to?
time I try, even when I try to err on the side
How
of
come?
caution, you find some way to make it to be something that it's not? I
Oh,
didn't know
yeah.
if you was gonna say something else.
Are you shaking your
I
head
asked
like
a
this?
question, sir. So when I do that, I would hope it would convey to you I'm looking for an answer. So which filing are you referring to?
All
With
my
specific-
filings, my
All your filings.
my
You
notice
gonna
of appearance,
you
my
gonna show the
statement
jury.
of particulars, my bond, the court docket sheet.
Oh, he's trying to find. He's like, oh, if I could just stand up here and just show them everything, every piece of paper I've ever seen since I've been in here, I probably could get this 1,000 years in here like I want. Like I want to be in this courtroom for 1,000 years. That would take 1,000 years for sure. An
All
hour
of
per
those
paper.
The
Yeah,
request to
I could do that.
display those to the jury is denied. It's not relevant.
How's it not relevant? Not even your
That's my
oath of office.
determination, sir. So I am going to start this.
Not even your oath of office can be shown.
No, that is not relevant.
Because what does it have to
these
do with you
proceedings,
running
sir.
over
It
Jackson?
is.
It's not relevant in front of the jury.
Why is it not relevant? Can you
Because I said so.
Mr. Brooks,
Because of this here black cloak.
can you
you
explain
are
why
not
that's
going
not
to be
relevant?
able to raise those types of issues and present a closing argument based upon my oath of office, whether I'm licensed to practice law in the state of Wisconsin,
I said your oath
whether
of
there's
office.
subject
I didn't
matter
say anything.
jurisdiction, whether you consent to this
Yeah, you
appearance
did.
or not.
You said it
None
before.
of those things help the jury determine the issues in this case, which are related to whether you are guilty or not guilty of the 76 charges that have
The
been
jury
filed
should
in
know
this
that
case.
they should know the truth in their duties, in their rights. They should know that.
Hey, Darrell, don't you worry, honey. They know exactly what to do. When I tell you they know what to do, they nailed this one. Talk about understanding the assignment, honey. They came in and they were like, yeah, all of them. Yeah, all of it. Everything. There was something on there about him jumping a curb. Yeah, that too. All of it. Yes. Guilty all of this. Just big old stamp guilty on the whole paper. You failed the entire test, honey. Even the writing your name. You even spelled your name wrong.
That at least.
Mr. Brooks, I'm putting you on notice that if you
You
continue
on notice.
with this insistence upon presenting information that's not properly before the jury as
Right.
evidence in this case,
Mm-hmm.
that I will instruct you during your closing argument to move on
Move
and
on.
potentially ask the jury, have the jury leave so that I can admonish you. And if you keep insisting on that, sir, that will be in direct violation of the court's direction to
So
you.
they can't even know that I got a shock device on my ankles.
They wouldn't
They
care.
absolutely do not need to know that.
Why
so it's
not?
relevant.
If you brought that up, they would be like, oh my God, that is, are you serious? So you have a shock device on your ankles? Well, we didn't know that. Is there a remote to it? Like is somebody able to like push a button and make it go off? Oh my God, like that should, we got to figure out what to do about that. Do you have the remote? Like, can we see the remote as the jury? Your Honor, can we have access to that remote? They would shock the shit out of you, Darrell, okay? The jury would shock the shit out of you. Do you hear me? They would electrocute you right there inside of the courtroom. You think that they care if you get shocked? They wish they could have gotten you shock, okay? Like putting a chair in shock, okay? And you think they're going to be like, oh, no, that's not constitutionally correct. Oh, no, we can't have, let him go. Take those things off of his ankles. Get them things off Darrell's cankles and let him go. Let him go. Set him free so that he can run over me. No, Darrell. It's not how it works, Darrell. Nice try, Darrell. Fuck you, Darrell.
Relevant to the determinations of guilt or innocence in this
It's the
case.
truth.
Is it the truth?
Mr. Brooks, your custodial
Oh.
status is not on
Darrell
trial.
did not know what the truth is, honey.
I would
No,
argue
your
that
lied
it
for
is.
so
conduct
long.
from November 21st of 2021 is what
That
is on
hasn't been
trial.
proven.
You may not bring up the way that you've been shackled. It's not relevant, sir.
It's
not.
the
You
truth.
do
Nobody
so, you do
cares.
it at your peril. But here's the
There
thing:
is
the
no
jury
peril.
is specific.
It's my right, though.
Let me.
The jury is gonna be like, "Come over here, let me see." So if you move past the table, it'll shock you. Now we need some proof of that, Your Honor. We need to let him walk past that table like 20 times, just so we can see if it really do work. Just go on, Darrell. Come around the table. Let me. Ooh, zzz. Oh shit! I didn't see that. Can you do it again? What would happen if we threw water on it, Your Honor? Would that help? Yeah, no.
Let
Can
me
we
go.
plug it into a wall?
It's my constitutional right. Just like
There are
under the
certain
First
things,
Amendment,
sir.
which I preserved my First Amendment right when I
Oh.
came in this morning, I also preserved my
Right.
Sixth
Oh, do-
Mr. Brooks,
Amendment
Did you
right.
preserve it
Please
if it?
stop. You do not have an unfettered First Amendment right. That is very clear based upon
What do you
all
mean
the
by
case law.
unfettered? What do you mean by unfettered?
It
I
means
don't.
it is not absolute. It can be restricted.
So the Constitution of the United States can be constricted.
All right, Mr. Brooks, I'm putting you on notice that if you continue with
He don't know what unfettered means.
your insistence on raising issues that are
I'm going to
merely a
raise issues that the
distraction,
jury needs
that
to
are-
know,
You can figure that word out by
regardless,
context.
because
This is the way it's
they're
used.
under the rights of the United States Constitution, which
Mr.
is the
Brooks,
law
I
of the
direct
land.
your attention to closing instruction 460,
I'm
which will be
going
read
to
the jury
let the
at some
jury
point.
know the
Uh-huh.
truth,
Look.
their duty and their rights. Under the First Amendment and under the Sixth Amendment, I have the right to inform them of their rights, of the truth, and of their duties. Under the First Amendment and under the Sixth Amendment of the Constitution of these United States.
Of these United States. First of all, aren't you a sovereign citizen? Hold up. Now, how did I never catch this? This might have been in my comments now that I think about it. This might have been in my comments. If he keeps talking about his constitutional right, but then he also says he's a sovereign citizen. That's why he says his name is not Darrell. So if you're a sovereign citizen, though, aren't you not like don't you not have the rights, right? Like of the United States? Like, doesn't having the one mean the other one doesn't apply? Like, you're a sovereign citizen who also, wants the rights of the, you keep talking about these amendments, but they don't apply to you according to you because of your sovereignty, right? Oh my God! Look at his face. Look at his eyes. What's so funny is that he don't even believe none of this shit that he's saying. He's just in here throwing shit at the walls per usual. Just throwing feces at the walls, watching it just slide down and leave the brown stain. No intentions of cleaning it up. Just gonna put a sheet over it like his mother does with her stuff when she don't want to clean. Just throw a sheet over it and shoot a video in front of it.
You can't. No state law can override that.
Mr.
Any
Brooks,
law-
do you intend
any
to
law
keep this up when the
repugnant-
jury comes out?
Your Honor.
Because I need to
No, I
have
do
the
not. That's
state-
why I'm addressing.
You know an awful lot about the law for somebody who's sovereign. How did all these videos I've done and I have never caught that? I never caught it. How did I? Because he's always doing so much shit. It's hard to catch everything. It's hard.
Addressing this before
I'm not-
they come out.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm trying to address this before they come out.
Are you being
so it doesn't
responsible?
become an issue once they're in here.
Yes.
But under the First Amendment and under the Sixth Amendment of the Constitution, which are rights that I preserve.
Oh, because
The
but
moment
as
we
a
stepped in
sovereign
here this
citizen,
morning when this proceedings
not as a
started,
sovereign citizen,
I preserve those rights for the record.
you
And
can't.
now
'Cause
you're telling
sovereign.
me that those rights are not, would you say unfettered or, I don't know what you say. I don't even know what that means. I don't even understand that.
She just told you,
But
dumbass.
any law repugnant of the United States Constitution is
That's
null
what
and
you
void.
smell like. Repugnant. Ooh.
Mr. Brooks, I'm putting you on notice that you can also forfeit by your conduct the right to present a closing argument. In appropriate circumstances, the right to present a closing argument, no different than the right to testify, may be subject to forfeiture where your conduct is incompatible with the assertion of the right at issue. The goals that this court has attempted to follow throughout this proceeding are multifaceted and multifold. Number one, I do have an obligation and I have done my best to ensure that this is a fair trial.
Yes.
However, a fair trial does not mean a defendant has unfettered rights to state whatever he wants when he wants.
Now, Your Honor, I'll just let you make your record. I didn't overtalk you. I didn't interrupt you. Is that fair to say? I'll let you make the record.
Oh, you let her?
With all due respect.
Ain't that
when
something? I let you speak. Whose courtroom do you think you are in? Yours? I know, like homeless. Like if you homeless, basically everywhere you go is your home. But this does not apply, Darrell. This does not apply. This is not your home. You are not allowing her to be in your space and do what she wants to do. That is not what is happening here. You are in her house. She is allowing you to be in here because she could just put you out and put you outside in the yard, which would be next door in the courtroom. She could do that. She says all that just for him to go, I let you speak, right? Did not just give you the opportunity to speak. You know what? You are hilarious, Darrell.
When will I be able to make the record? As I've tried to do.
You don't get to
times
make
by
a
saying
record.
I wanted to present an offer of proof for my appeal. That's the chance for me to be able to make the record.
I'm denying your request to make an offer of proof regarding your appeal. It's
So,
not, I am
I'm
not
not allowed to
required
make the
to give you
record at
that
all, Your Honor?
opportunity, sir.
I'm not allowed
Sir.
to make the record at all.
Because it's none of their business.
As I just let you
You
did
appeal,
because
that's for the
some of the
next
issues
lady.
I
has
have,
been some
you
of the
have
issues
told me
has
what
been
you want to do. I've
Your
told
Honor.
you you can't. I've addressed
Your
the
Honor,
request.
some of the issues have been me over talking you and interrupting you. I did not do that. Even though
You're doing it right now,
everything that you
Darrell.
said, you have not proven for the record, and it's unlawful law. You haven't shown one time that is lawful for you to do what you've been doing. As
Mr.
far
Brooks.
as your
Judge, I'm going to tell you like this. You could let this man sit in front of them, in front of that jury, and say whatever he wants to say. Guess what difference it's going to make? Zero. He was going to get them 1,000 years no matter what, okay? No matter what. He needed 1,000 years, and he gonna get what he need. 1,000 fucking years. This is what it is. No worries, Judge. No worries.
rulings.
Once again, I'm not going to debate with you the prior rulings of this court. There's absolutely no need at this point for you to make
Honor.
an offer of proof regarding my prior rulings or decisions that you disagree with.
Your Honor,
You will have an opportunity, if convicted, to raise every issue.
He's like, I'm gonna tell him whatever I want to tell them, Your Honor. The reason he's saying that is because he's trying to keep her from bringing out the jury. If he says, I'm gonna say everything you tell me not to say, then she is like supposed to stall her from being able to bring them out, because then he's just gonna do this thing. And he's thinking that's gonna stop this here proceedings, these proceedings. Oh no, Darrell, it's not gonna stop the proceedings. We gonna proceed, honey. We don't need you in here for that. We can go ahead and put you on that bus and fast forward you on to the prison. It ain't like we don't know you're going there. We'll send you an email of some sort somehow. We'll send a pigeon with a note to tell you how long you're gonna get it. It'll just say 1,000 on it. Okay? You'll recognize it because of all the zeros. Who's this message for? Oh, that's a lot of zeros. Darrell, the pigeon's here for you. The pigeon has a message for you. Darrell is making mama insane. But I do love to poke fun at this man. It's my therapy. It's my therapy. So I come to terms with not just him, but all the hymns of the world. All the Darrells of the world. This is how I cope. And I'm glad that I can help you cope. Because it seems to be what's happening. It seems that I'm not the only person who is helped by this type of coping mechanism. Y'all behave. You knew what was coming. Y'all behave. Okay, y'all do it. Because mama said so. And mama knows best. Mama love you. Yes, she do. Don't let nobody tell you no different. Right? Peace.